Well, today we're going to learn how to make a cheap and very inexpensive saw guide to use my circular saw as a track saw. I'm also going to go through the kind of ways this works well, ways it does not seem to work well. So it does have some pros and cons in using of it, but we're going to look at all of it, including how I use it. I tried 3 or 4 different ways, and I'll give you the best case, the best ways. So we might as well get started. I want to be able to cut a straight edge with my circular saw, 8 foot long, to take off some bad edges of some boards that come off the sawmill. So let's see how I do it. The first thing I did was buy a 1/2 inch MDF 4x8. Factory cut edges are always the straightest, so I'm just going to mark them with a pen, FM or FE factory edge. Now, first thing I got to do is cut a straight edge. Down this side, I need a piece 3 to 4 inches wide. Now, this is my DeWalt circular saw. I want to make this 4 inches here. Guide, I need a mark that will be, now this is 5 inches from there, so I need to go 9 inches total. Now the 9 inches is including the 4 inch I want it, plus the 5 inches of the saw, the circular saw itself, and I'll be going against the guide. Now I have a straight edge guide, and I'll be honest with you, I really don't like it. I've had it for quite a while. Sometimes the saw wants to go underneath it. There's no real good way to clamp it here. And on the edges, the clamps get in the way of the saw, which makes it hard to run the whole way through. So in effect, I really don't like this. It's nice for drawing lines. I just may draw a line to make sure I have a guide. Just in case this moves. I say you have to be careful. This wants to move up all the time. And then sometimes my circular saw slides underneath it. So I am making one that I won't have any trouble with. And there is my guide. I can see if the part moves away from it. I adjusted the blade now. This is only a 1/2 inch thick. Actually, I can adjust her some more. That's about 3/4. Make sure I had some safety glasses on for this cut. Okay, now that cut it. You notice it started going underneath at one spot, which is exactly why I have trouble with this straight edge here. It did okay, but it started moving up. I had to make sure I pushed that down. You can't really clamp it in the middle. Now comes some gluing and some clamping here. This needs to be, I'm going to go 5 1/4 with that so I can cut a part of that off when I do it. So I'm going to go 5 1/4, 5 1/4. Five 1/4. This is my good piece, and this is my good edge here. Going the wrong way here. I'm going to go 5 1/4. Use this as a straight edge for gluing. But I want to glue that piece this way. And then this piece, the good edge, will be glued right there. Flush on both ends. Okay, now that this is all down, I'm going to go ahead and let it dry a little bit. With the glue dry, I'm going to go ahead and run my circular saw right down this guide, and that will give me a clean cutting edge. Now for the other end of the guide, I am going to use the narrow end of the chainsaw. That way it gives me two options when I use this straight edge guide. Now these are test pieces too. I'm trying to see what I can and what I can't do with that jig. I want to go down to 5.5. That right now is 5 3/4. I can take 1/4 of an inch off. Now this down here, you can see where it moved out. That's about 6 down here. So I think we'll turn it around. And we're going to cut at 5 3/4 first. Just to see, or 5 5/8, just to see how it comes out. This up here is about 5.5, but right here is 5 5/8. I'm going to leave 1/8 here to play with. 5 1/8, or 5 5/8. 5 5/8 down here. Now let's see what we can do here. Now this particular jig is fairly easy for a saw. I got it off YouTube, and I wanted to see how it worked in this situation here, because this situation is a little bit different than most of them. It would work great on plywood. I think that's originally what it's kind of designed for, is cutting plywood. But I need something up at my camp that allow me to rip some boards that way and get them straight. Now I'm going to go 1/8 inch heavy on this to start with, and I'm doing that just to make sure if I have to cut again, I have to cut again. I don't know whether it might be wise to have a piece behind it and just use this piece here just to give that one a little more support. There. Gives you just a little more support. Not a lot, but something. My dot. 5 1/8. 5 1/8. Now, when I stop sawing, it seems to want to kick out. Almost makes you want to tie that guard down. I don't know whether I want to do that or not yet. That can be kind of dangerous. Now my first board here, the biggest problem with cutting a board that's only 5 3/4 inches wide is the guide itself. The circular saw has to ride on 5 inches of that guide. So in order to clamp it, you almost have to have the clamps on the board itself to get it up to where the position is, take the clamp off and move it behind it, and then keep on sawing. Now this is not the best case, and it requires a little more. You have to be careful. It just doesn't work that well. But I did get it. I mean, it took me a while, and it was a little bit of a pain in the butt because I kept on wondering a little bit. You have to be very careful. Move the clamps and keep moving. You don't want the board to move anywhere underneath it. So it kind of makes it a little rough to cut. Definitely nice cut. Better cut on that side this time. And that's about an 1/8 inch there. About an 1/8 inch there too. So that actually is pretty good. Now the other side too, I cut it an 1/8 inch down. It worked out real well. I mean, everything seemed to work. It is a pain in the butt. I used the same technique on the other side with the clamping, moving the clamp as I'm sawing through. But I am going to try another technique, so make sure you stick around so you see the other technique too. Okay, it looks good. Satisfied with it. Check another one and see what it looks like. I could cut on the small end and do it. Try that for 1 or 2 pieces just to see how it works out. Your small end would be like this. I could clamp it there. Now on my guide, the narrow end is 1.5 inches. The larger end is 5 inch. Every saw is a little bit different, but this way kind of made it a lot easier to clamp. We'll see how it cuts. This way, obviously, I can't cut this direction. I'm going to have to cut the other direction. Okay, I'm sure cutting with the small end is my guy here is going to make it a little bit touchier, that I make sure that I hold that square against there and hold it back. But I shouldn't have to stomp, and I shouldn't have to hold up my safety here. So let's try it this way. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. It seemed like it worked a little bit better that way. You just have to be a lot more careful the way you hold it. But I did get a straight edge. Let's see how straight. The edge looks better too, because I didn't have to stop. I think that's the way I got to do these boards, is do them that way. This looks pretty good. Now the first board cut so well, I thought I'd try another board using this method. It is still tricky to hold the saw level while you're cutting, but it seems like I can do the boards better this way. While editing, I kind of thought of a different way to modify this particular guide in order for it to work better on boards like I'm using it. I may have to try that idea out in the future. Now I did decide to make another one of these guides, one for home, one for camp. And I forgot to show you the rip cut. I forgot to turn on the camera actually. But it does rip well when you have the full width of the circular saw on the guide, which is the 5-inch part. Then after that, all I had to do was glue and nail. Watch till the end to get a good review of the different techniques and what I learned. Now that I have this glued and nailed down, I'm going to let it dry before I actually rip these sides. Just want to make sure that I don't have any issues with it moving or anything else. There's lots of ways to straighten a board or panel. I do have a table saw. Sometimes a large panel is hard for me to maneuver myself and hard to keep it against the edge without any help. And I don't have a lot of the good rollers, nor do I have a real good table saw. So those things kind of what made me want to go this route. I also have a joiner, but joining a board sometimes takes off a little more than what you want. So I stayed away from that. And so that's one of the reasons why I went with this. Now, the bad is these are hard to do with a 6-inch board. I mean, it was almost impossible to do it with the wide. I had to use a narrow edge, and that's a little bit harder to make sure that you keep this straight. Anytime you're using this, either it's the narrow side or the wide side, the 5-inch side, You really have to watch what you're doing and keep it against that. Sometimes if you walk around this, it has a tendency to move the saw a little bit. So you want to make sure you keep it flat and against that rail tight the whole time. Otherwise, it's going to mess up your cut. So boards, didn't work out so well. I suppose wider boards would work better, but 6 inch is going to be what I use the most of. Now, any type of paneling or plywood or even this type of material, these work great on that. That's kind of the best design for those. You can really just mark it where the cut is and zoom. It will help with the measuring. It will help with a lot of things. So this will be handy when I start cutting plywood for camp floors and things like that. So this will be handy. That's one of the reasons why I made 2 of them. One for down here, one for up at camp. With one panel, you can easily make 2. I might make some smaller ones just for smaller pieces of wood and maybe like a wide cut here if I was cutting it. So I probably will with what I have left, but I watched YouTube videos and I seen a lot of small ones. I don't see too many people making these 8-foot long ones. So they say you can. I wanted to actually do it and see how it worked out. And I'd say it worked out okay. Another thing you need to watch out for when you're cutting, even with the wide side, the 5-inch side, if you look at this saw, this motor itself overhangs the 5 wide here. So when it overhangs here, I'll get it a little bit closer so you can see. Here is the part here's the rail that will run right against the guy, and you see this overhangs here. So you have to be careful on your clamps. If this is down and you're cutting a thick piece, you're going to hit your clamps. Up high, it's not so bad. I might have to invest in some really narrow clamps or something that really clamps it down low, so I don't have to worry about it quite as much. That would probably help me too, especially on cutting some of the 6-inch boards that I did. Because you think about it, a 6-inch board, we have 5 inches out here. That only allows an inch inside here. So you almost have to clamp it some way. I suppose I don't have much choice, I guess, but to do with the narrow edge on like a 6-inch board or something. If you see something you like or something you dislike, let me know in the comments section. I enjoy the comments. I do learn a lot from the comments, and sometimes it gives me a different avenue to go research or to look at different other ways of doing things. So please comment if you can. Also, if you can, subscribe, like, share, and ring that bell so you don't miss any of my other upcoming videos. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks. My medical procedures just ended 2 days ago. I have a 2-week period where I'm not supposed to, I can't really go too far away from the house. So I am going to be hanging around here for at least another week until I feel better. And then hopefully I'm back up to camp and I can get on that mill and get some stuff started inside the camp. Maybe even finish an electrical box that I started here right before January. So once again, this is the Old Man with the Plan, and I'll see you later.